In this video, we get big announcements from Pioneer, Native Instruments, and Roland. Find out more coming up. Thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. Now let's get into the video. So Pioneer had some huge announcements recently. The first up being two Serato DJ devices. First, they had the brand new DJM S3 mixer and a refresh of one of their best-selling controllers, the DDJ SR, is now upgraded to the MK2 version. First up, the DJM S3. Now this is pretty much a slimmed-down version of the S9, but if you look carefully, it's really just a rebrand of the recent DJM 250 Mark II. The hardware is basically the same, besides some color changes in the buttons and the LEDs, and the sound card is not just Rekordbox DJ enabled, but Serato DJ enabled as well. So not only do you get Serato DJ compatibility, but you get the same compatibility for Rekordbox DJ that we saw in the 250 Mark II. And from the looks of the 250 Mark II, this S3 is going to be a solid build. From the way it's constructed to the crossfader that was used in it, all the way to the filters and the ease of use with the plug-in right directly with the USB to the audio interface, this thing is a pretty good deal. Now I won't say it's a steal like the 250 Mark II was because of the price tag. This thing is coming in at $599. So you're getting a quite considerable markup compared to the 250 to the S3, but you are gaining that Serato DJ compatibility. Now in the past, we talked about, Pioneer bumping up the price because they're Pioneer, but now it looks like the roles have reversed, where Pioneer is now making their Rekordbox DJ products a little bit more affordable compared to their Serato DJ offerings. And for that, I don't blame them. They're going head to head with one of the titans in the DVS and DJ software industry, and it only makes sense if they're going to be using their hardware, but they need to make their software a little bit more attractive to the newer DJs. Pricing it a little bit lower is a great way to do it. Now the DDJ SR2 is a brand new take on one of their best-selling Serato DJ controllers. This two-channel Serato DJ controller has the basic Serato DJ layout that pretty much all the Serato DJ controllers now share, but this new Mark II upgrade has a few changes. First up, this now supports the DVS package. So if you buy the DVS bundle for Serato DJ, you can actually plug in two turntables or CDJs or media players into this controller and use it with DVS. This is a huge upgrade because the first version did not allow for this. So now on this controller, you have controls for tone play and controls for the Serato pitch and time bundle that they have for Serato DJ. So you can pitch things up and down, sync the pitch, and all of those controls that we saw on their more higher end controllers are now in the mid-range as well. So great news for all those people that are looking for a brand new Serato DJ controller or looking for their first controller. I think this is a great option. And at $699, this makes sense for a first piece of gear in my opinion. Not only can you use this as a controller, but if you'd like to, buy decks later on, turntables or CDJs or something like that, you can actually just plug them in and use DVS and get that kind of club style practice. And what's great is also that you don't need a computer to be hooked up to the controller if you just want to play vinyl or you just want to play, CDs or USBs off your CDJs that you have hooked up into it. Because this thing needs a power supply now, it can actually function as a standalone mixer. So all of those new features make the DDJ SR2 a great buy in my opinion. So if you're looking for your first controller, I would say definitely look into this one. And the second half of Pioneer's recent announcements all have to deal with Rekordbox version 5. Now, Rekordbox version 5 is finally officially released, so if you played around with the beta, definitely go ahead and launch the regular Rekordbox and upgrade to version 5. I went over all the different details of Rekordbox version 5, and I'll go ahead and link that video down below and put it in a card above. If you want to see some of the new features, go ahead and check out that video. I do have some likes and dislikes with version 5, but the other half of the Rekordbox 5 announcement was the new DDJ XP1. And this new controller actually makes a lot more sense of the Rekordbox 5 software. And now I can kind of see where Pioneer was going with the different changes in the UI that they had for Rekordbox version 5 compared to version 4. It makes a lot more sense now that they finally unveiled this new controller. So everyone's been a fan of the Pioneer DDJ SP1 for Serato DJ, and this is basically the update and upgrade for the SP1. But the caveat this time is it's not for Serato DJ. This new controller is just for Rekordbox DJ. Now, we go from 16 total pads to 32 pads, and new touch strips on the side, as well as different kind of controls for your looping and different load functions and stuff like that. This thing is huge. The footprint of this thing is pretty massive in my opinion. And to me, that's kind of a drawback because in a lot of booths, you're not gonna have room for this unless you bring a separate stand, which Pioneer also announced as well. But overall, this thing is gonna be kind of hard to fit in unless you really make it, known to wherever you're performing, or you check beforehand that you're gonna have room for this giant controller. Now this thing can do a ton of things, and it really makes Rekordbox DJ a more full-fledged software, in my opinion, as far as like tactile control goes. And I saw that people were talking about that this kind of takes the Rekordbox DJ workflow from being more similar to Serato DJ to being more similar to the Tractor style workflow. And in my opinion, that's really true because the kind of manipulation and the kind of beat juggles and cue point manipulation and tone and pitch play manipulations that you can do with this new controller is more aligned with using Rekordbox DJ with this controller, like using Tractor with something like a Maschine and another separate controller like that. So if you're kind of into that workflow and you've been waiting for Native Instruments to come up with an update, which they haven't in such a long time, this might make you make the switch from Tractor Pro to Rekordbox DJ. And if you're a Serato DJ user as well, I mean, this thing has so much control. And if you've been looking for an update to the SP1 and you love the way that thing works and it just has all the buttons and layout that you need, but you've been looking for a little bit more, this might make you jump from Serato DJ to Rekordbox DJ. And I can definitely see this being more apparent now with version 5. It looks even more polished and fully fleshed out. And with the kind of software and audio driver issues and OS issues that Serato DJ has been having recently, especially on Mac, seeing Rekordbox DJ just work flawlessly with even the newest OSs makes it even more attractive to new or even seasoned DJs. And speaking of Native Instruments, they announced 2 huge updates to their hardware lineup, and they updated Maschine to Mark III and the Complete Control to Mark II. And first up, let's talk about Maschine Mark III. They've overhauled the hardware from top to bottom. Not only do you get brand new pads and great new color screens that were taken from the Maschine studio and now are being placed on the base Maschine level, but also for the first time in the history of Maschine, this piece of hardware actually has its own audio interface. That's been one of my main gripes with Maschine compared to the MPC Renaissance line, where Maschine has never had a built-in audio interface, so you've always had to take a separate audio interface, whereas the MPC Renaissance had one built in from the jump. And I'm really glad to see that Native Instruments has added this to the hardware because they do make great audio interfaces, in my opinion. They sound great, they sound loud and punchy, so to have that integrated into this one piece of hardware definitely makes this more attractive to people that are creating beats on the go. You have one less thing to worry about packing and one less thing to worry about breaking. So if you just take your computer and the new Maschine Mark III, you're basically good to go in any situation. And for the Complete Control Mark II, they've added those same colored screens to the Complete Control, as well as, updated the key bed a little bit and the lighting system, as well as moved the touch strips and actually added a joystick for the pitch bend and modulation, which was missing in my opinion in the previous version. So if you're looking for a new Maschine controller, this thing comes in at $599, or if you're looking for a new keyboard, the Complete Control 49 key starts at $599, or you can jump up to the 61 key at $699. And finally, Roland announced another addition to their boutique lineup. They've been killing it with the boutique series lately, adding more and more synths and announcing them seeming like one after the other. And now they've announced the boutique D50. They're calling it the D-05. So if you know anything about the Roland D50, you know that it's one of the synths of the 80s. This thing just screams 80s in the way it sounds. If you've listened to any 80s records or you're a fan of 80s music, you definitely know the sound of this keyboard. And it's nice to see that they've adapted this to the boutique line. It seems like they have tons of analog sounding synths and some, digital sounding synths. But now to have the actual D50 in boutique form is just another great way to add another really small tabletop synth, but still powerful tabletop synth to your collection. So that's it for the news this week. So question of the day, do these Rekordbox 5 announcements make you want to try Rekordbox 5 out? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click right here to subscribe to this channel. Or if you'd like to watch more content, go ahead and click on that video right there. And thank you for watching PDot TV, where you find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. See you next time.